everyone, and welcome to the WWEMA update here in the summer of 2025. I will be your host here today, Travis Kennedy, publisher here at Water Online, proud supporter and partner of WWEMA. And we are joined by a very special guest who I will get to in just one second. And I was thinking about this interview and this update that we are about to embark on as I was coming into the office this morning. And, you know, a couple of things entered my mind. One of them was that I think, for the most part, a lot of us are creatures of habit. I know for myself, I wake up in the morning around the same time. I'll have a cup of coffee around the same time. I'll go for a run around the same time. I'll get a workout in, and then I'll start my day, you know, check emails and check news. I usually go to ESPN or Fox Sports to check any kind of Phillies scores or whatever the case is. Creature of habit, right? And if I was to correlate that to the water wastewater market, and if I'm a water or wastewater equipment manufacturer, where would I want to go as a habit to be up to date on how I can run my business better, how I can become involved in an association or in different ways and areas that that can help and immediately impact my business. Anything from governmental advocacy to local advocacy, ranging from BABA to cybersecurity to trade and tariffs. And there's really one answer for that above and beyond anything else, and that's WWEMA, the Water and Wastewater Equipment Manufacturers Association. And we are lucky enough to be joined by the very chair-elect for WWEMA, Mr. Tom McCurdy, who really needs no introduction to the marketplace. He is well known. He is somewhat of a cover model for the market, for the industry. He is well represented and well known, and we are so happy to have him here. He is going to give us some highlights as to what WWEMA has done here in the first 7 months, 8 months of 2025, and go over some of the highlights of how WWEMA really does set that standard for advocacy related to water and wastewater equipment manufacturers. So, Tom, welcome to the WWEMA update.
Wow.
Yeah. I say the same thing. I can't believe you're here.
I don't know if I can live up to that introduction. Oh my God.
I'm positive you can. I'm absolutely positive you can. So I'll even set the table for you so you can just go ahead and eat, right? So listen, WWEMA does a lot of things to help water and wastewater equipment manufacturers in terms of advocacy, which is very pertinent to their business and how they can grow their business. Anything from BABA to PFAS to cybersecurity to SRFs, anything that's top of mind that you hear all about in the news or on Water Online or wherever you get your water and wastewater news. These are all hot topics, top of mind, really those topics that cover all of the pain points, areas of interest for the market. So we're going to talk about how WWEMA acts as an advocate for water and wastewater equipment manufacturers for each of those categories that I just kind of rattled off the top of my head. Right. But I want to start with one that's usually at the forefront, and that is BABA. And
that is it's been sort of the top topic for the past couple of years. I've personally been involved with WWEMA for, I would say, going on 10 years. And I really, I believe in this organization. I've moved up in the ranks, as you said, I'm the chair-elect and all that. But I do believe that they have, I know that they are such advocates for the manufacturers in this industry. And my company has actually taken some advantage of that advocacy, especially when it comes to BABA. You know, I was chair of the BABA subcommittee, and WWEMA has been the voice to EPA to really advocate for what the realities of manufacturing is in the United States for this industry. And we just had last week a seminar with EPA and the hot topic was BABA implementation and where we stand right now. Right. It included a BABA 101, and I dare
Baba
say that,
101. All right.
yes, I know.
Yeah.
Can you
Let's,
believe after all these years,
right.
if there's
We're still
anybody
on
that doesn't
101.
know? Yeah, right. But historically, there's just been there's been a lot of like conjecture versus reality and a lot of fear and all that. And WEMA has just we have ironed out so many of the details. In fact, as I can point out, as a manufacturer and member of WEMA, we've hosted EPA at our facility in Coatesville to say, hey, this is how we're planning to apply BABA in the wastewater market with what we provide. And it's been extremely helpful, and I believe that if we didn't have WEMA, didn't have that relationship with EPA, we wouldn't have had that opportunity. So we're really strong in the advocacy. And so, with that, on last Thursday, we had basically an update from EPA, and I know EPA is it's been a revolving door. I mean,
Yeah.
the people that we've had contact with over the years have either been retired or, people moved up the ladder and all that. So it's so important to keep up with all of the changes that are happening within EPA as it pertains to BABA.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. I first want to make the point of it helps the EPA as well because they need firsthand on the boots on the ground input as to how it's actually practically working.
Yes,
Without that input, they wouldn't have any idea whether or not that the restrictions or rules or whatever they have in place are working or even possible. So that's one thing. The other thing that I know that really sets WEMA apart of the many is that there's sort of what we would call like a concierge service as it relates to this type of thing. I know that there's been many times where WEMA officials have met with WEMA members, again, the equipment manufacturers themselves, to help one-on-one as an offshoot, just to help educate them and answer any questions they may have about BABA. I mean, do I have that right?
absolutely. Yeah, the concierge service is a great way of putting it, because every manufacturer has got some level of compliance, and it's useful for them to get the perspective of WEMA to let them know, where they stand and what they could do in order to get into compliance or maintain the compliance that they already have.
So I want to stay on more governmental type overall topics here before we go into like science specific and market specific trends.
Mhm.
But one thing I do want to have next here in the order of topics is the idea of SRFs. So again, a moving target, somewhat like BABA has been in terms of an EPA. Like where should we look to get these standards? But where should we look in terms of these SRFs?
Absolutely. The SRFs, for me, and for Airs Another Company and for other members, we have found that, the SRF is kind of like this sort of nebulous thing of funding, and it's like, how does it work? And again, not only advocacy, but education.
Right.
I've gotten such an education on what the SRF is all about, how much of it is fed from the federal government versus the state governments. It's such a big mix, and that it was eye-opening for me. Again, this speaks to WEMA as an organization that advocates and educates. And where we are right now, as far as the federal government funding of the SRFs, the the lead removal is staying. I
Yeah.
mean, that funding is staying. But a question about the bipartisan infrastructure law, the
Mhm.
bill, that funding has got a sunset of the end of 2026.
Yeah.
So what are the potential recipients going to do? And
Mhm.
so, that's a hot topic. And even the federal appropriations for the SRF, I mean, it's no secret that the current administration is looking to cut funding.
Yeah.
And so how is that going to impact the SRFs going forward? And this is where WEMA can come in and basically instruct its membership about, what to do as this transition starts to take place. We've got relationships with former chairs of CIFA, which is the organization that deals with the SRFs. So again, these are more resources that we bring to our membership.
Exactly. Resources that are going to help water and wastewater equipment manufacturers do their job better, run their business better. That's what WWEMA
Absolutely.
is all about.
I mean, the
Um,
last the last thing we need is this industry, which is so necessary, to come to a grinding halt because the
right,
money's dried up.
right.
But so forewarned is forearmed. I mean, it's the more information that we have as members, the better we are able to address it. I'm going to use one expression that
And
Claudio
in
used.
addition to forewarned,
Yes, well, it's
forearmed, in
if
addition to
if
that one, because that was a
if
good one.
in
I'm going to steal
addition
that
to
one.
that one,
Right.
right? If you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
I like that. Claudio, he always comes through with those zingers, right? But he's right. I
Absolutely.
mean, it's not an untrue statement.
It
Um,
absolutely applies to our industry,
right.
especially with all the chaos that's happening in the government.
So speaking of the chaos that is happening in the government and how it relates to our market specifically, trade and tariffs. So not a day goes by that you don't hear about tariffs.
Right.
So I'm sure it affects almost every aspect of our daily lives. Um,
Absolutely.
what can we say and highlight related to WEMA specifically about how it's keeping its members involved and informed related to the tariffs?
Right. Well, Claudio has just been appointed by the Commerce Secretary to ETAC, which is
Mhm.
the Tariff and Trade Organization. And we've also engaged with a law firm in DC that has attorneys that are staying on the forefront of that. It's funny because in past meetings, what I've seen in terms of presentations, this one attorney gave a presentation for WEMA, and the first slide was this information is as of the printing of this presentation, and it may change over the course of the presentation. I mean, so,
Right.
we need people on the inside to keep up with that so that, again, we can be forewarned. And so that whatever the impact is, we will have as much advanced knowledge on that as possible. And I can say as a member, Airzon, we have products that come from Germany, and we have products that come from Korea. And so the tariff situation with both of those countries, again, it's kind of a moving target,
Yeah.
but as long as we can keep up with that, we can have the information that we need in order to approach the market.
So speaking of moving targets, I want to sort of change direction here and go right into implementation of some of the products and solutions that WEMA members and problems that WEMA members actually go out and solve with their products and solutions. I mean, one of those is PFAS,
Yeah.
right? Have you heard of that? Do I need to explain? Probably the audience kind of knows.
I think the audience
Okay.
knows the
All right.
forever chemicals,
Right.
basically. The stuff
Exactly.
that's in Teflon, the stuff that's in,
Everything. Right.
so many things, right?
Exactly. I mean, I was
Yeah.
being facetious in terms of as much as you hear about tariffs, you probably hear about PFAS. It
Oh,
is
yes,
top of
absolutely.
mind everywhere, right?
Yeah, and
So,
and the big topic with that is what are the passive receivers? What is their responsibility there? And the passive receivers, what I mean by that is these wastewater plants that are receiving all these various wastewater streams, whether it's residential or industrial or whatever. And what are they doing about removing the PFAS so that their effluent is PFAS free, and the sludge that they produce is that the PFAS has been handled. And this impacts the manufacturers that are around to deal with the PFAS, with whether it's to destroy it or to transfer it to another media or whatever. There's a certain accountability that they need to be aware of, and especially if it's considered a hazardous waste. How do they not get punished for doing their job of
yeah,
removing the PFAS from the water and from the
right.
solids? And that's a hot topic, and it continues to be a hot topic.
It is, and even the levels, right? The acceptable levels versus the unacceptable levels. I mean, it seems to fluctuate and may differ by area or by state, town. Um,
Absolutely. I mean, it's, again, using an analogy, the goalposts keep on getting moved further and
right,
further out, meaning that the low level of the testing level gets lower and lower into the parts per trillion.
right.
It's so how do you deal with that? And this is what, we have a separate subcommittee that is dealing with PFAS and is informing our membership about all that.
Again, and that enabling water and wastewater equipment manufacturers to run their companies better, be more efficient, and do better at their jobs. I mean, that's what
Absolutely.
WEMA really is about. One other topic that is sort of top of mind in the industry, of the many, separate and distinct of PFAS, is the issue of cybersecurity and the use of AI.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a one big, huge question mark right now.
It
I mean,
is.
it is for a lot of industries and markets, but what is WEMA doing to help their educate their members on cybersecurity, AI, topics of that digital nature?
It's a broad topic. Both of those can be considered separate topics, but
Absolutely. Mhm.
cybersecurity is it's I mean, we have witnessed that as an industry, where people have hacked into treatment systems and done some, bad things to the
Right.
systems. And so, how do we stay on top of that? And we also have again, a subcommittee, more members that are interested specifically in that topic that can help the rest of the membership benefit.
Mhm. Without a doubt. I mean, it's not an easy thing to keep a handle on because not there's not a lot of people out there, if there are any, that completely understand not just what this is, but where it's going. So it's very
Right.
hard to prognosticate as it relates to those two topics. But WEMA is at the forefront of it, and doing
Absolutely. And some of the members that are participating are manufacturers that bring their own control systems
right.
into play. So they have to be well aware of this,
Mhm.
to protect their own the products that they sell to our industry and to share with the rest of the membership so that we can all be equally informed.
One of the other things that's real of the many that's really unique about WEMA is it is an association. And by definition, it also associates itself with other organizations, high level organizations specifically targeted towards the water and wastewater market. What can you say about some of the relationships that WEMA has with those other organizations?
Well, I'm going to, we do have relationships with other organizations like WEF
Hmm.
and WRF
Hmm.
and, all the other acronyms that
Yep.
basically have
Yep.
their own organizational base. But I would say probably one of the more contemporary organizations that WEMA is getting involved with is the National Governors Association.
Important. Yeah.
There's a reason for this
Mhm.
because with the way the federal government is sort of trending, they're giving more power and more potential responsibility to the individual states.
Mhm.
So the governors really have to step up. And the fact that WEMA has gotten involved with the Governors Association, it becomes an education for them. And all of a sudden, we become a resource. WEMA becomes a resource for that Governors Association so that as the situation starts to evolve in terms of states being more involved, those governors can understand and use us as a resource. So it all goes kind of back and forth.
Without a doubt. It's interesting that you brought that up because you're 100% correct. So states are in some ways unprepared for all of the autonomy that they're getting back,
Right.
and they need to be educated. They also need to collaborate with associations like WEMA to be able to have any of these updates, changes, solutions. It needs to be seamless because water is a invaluable resource. Like we cannot live without it. So the being able to have relationships with those other organizations that can lend their expertise and consultative approaches to some of the issues that manufacturers are faced with is I don't know how you put a price tag on it. Uh,
Right.
so I do know that throughout the entire year, there's a lot of events in person and online that WEMA executes and sponsors as it goes through some of these educational aspects of it. The biggest meeting of WEMA members is coming up this fall. What can you tell us about that?
The big dance,
The big dance.
the
Yes.
annual meeting.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. Yes.
What can you tell everybody about that?
No, November 12th through the 14th in Charleston, South Carolina.
Ooh, love it.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Where else would you
Just
rather be in November than Charleston, South Carolina?
Charleston,
I
absolutely.
know.
It's yeah, yeah. So we're looking forward to it. I mean, this is sort of the culmination of all of the activities that we've that have taken place this year. We have a strategic plan that we put into place. We upgraded it last year, and this is our chance to sort of display exactly what we're doing, and a lot of the stuff that we've just talked about, right, in this conversation that you and I have had, and it also includes the meetings of emerging leaders. I mean,
Mhm.
you know, I'm going to retire someday. You're going to retire someday. And who's going to be the next generation of people that are going to continue to carry this message to the manufacturers and to this industry in general? So we're focusing on the emerging leaders, the people that are, that really care and give them a forum to get educated and also to start to bring that message to the other people in their age group. God, I sound old, but still, I mean, it's the whole idea where it has to
Right,
continue. I mean,
right,
sidebar, my daughter is in the wastewater industry. She works for Carollo, and I couldn't be more proud. You
right.
know, it's like she's part of that generation that is that it's building that awareness that, when you flush the toilet and it goes away, what happens to it then? You
Yep.
turn on the tap, you get water. It's like it's not all automatic. It's gotta be treated. And I believe that the next generation is going to have that enhanced level of awareness.
Mhm.
And I'm really happy that WEMA is focusing on those new leaders.
Without a doubt. I mean, the generation that is starting to come through into the workforce, specifically in this market, relies heavily on their dedication to environmental responsibility.
Yes.
To them, it's everything. How we can make the planet better for everybody. And having been part of the emerging leaders meetings, not as a participant, because I'm no longer, I think I've aged out of the categorical rules that they set in place. But I don't know, who knows? Maybe we can rewrite them, since I am talking to the chair elect, so that we can be a part of it. But it is exciting to see that as part of the fabric of WEMA. So Tom, I want to thank you for spending. I know you're a busy guy. I wanted to thank you for spending some time here with me today, being able to educate the marketplace on all of the value that WEMA brings to the water and wastewater market.
Absolutely. It is a pleasure talking with you. I know we're both equally excited about WEMA, and
Absolutely.
I'm thrilled to be part of this organization.
Me too. I absolutely am. Couldn't have said it better myself. For all of you out there, if you want more information on how WEMA can help your business, please feel free to visit them on their website. More information is there. They will be happy to set up some time to talk and see if they might be able to. Spoiler alert, they will be able to help you with your business as it specifically relates to a lot of these advocacy topics that we brought up, as well as business related type benefits. So with that being said, this signs off our latest WEMA quarterly review. We will be doing another one before the end of the year, but I do want to thank Tom, you one more time, for joining us. And for all of you out there, thanks for spending your time here with us. All of us here at WEMA, we cannot wait to have you back next time. Bye, everybody.